Hey man, how's it going today?
Hey, I'm doing good.
That's awesome. I am really excited. This is my first video trying to coach a subscriber, so I think we're going to have a good time with this.
Me too.
Okay, so yeah, let's dive right in. This is the deck this is one of your pixie decks, right?
Yes.
Cool. So I think we're going to make a couple changes before we dive in. I just looked at the meta right before we hopped on the call, and 15% of the meta today is Azorius Omniscience.
Uh,
Which is terrible. At least in platinum. You're in platinum one. I feel like when I made my pixie deck like a week or two ago, it was only 7% omniscience, and I was like, oh man, I feel like I should throw in two lanterns. You kind of auto lose the matchup if you don't have it. And I think we kind of even need to go up even higher on the graveyard hate because 15% is just ridiculous.
yeah, that's very crazy.
From a coaching standpoint, do you have any thoughts on like why you might use Rest in Peace or Cease and Desist or Lantern or any other graveyard hate or like the flanker? Do you have any thoughts on which you might want to include and why?
I'm not sure. I kind of like how the lantern is 1 mana, so you can just kind of slap it down on turn one, and also because it actually has some effect with the draw ability if it's in a dead matchup.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I've preached about this a couple times, but at least for you, and I think you already got it, but for anyone else listening, the main reason I prefer the Lantern over the other options is one, the second thing you said, that it is essentially cyclable. In every dead matchup, you can pay an extra mana and just basically sack it and draw a fresh card, which is not the case with some of the others. Like Rest in Peace, if you draw in a dead matchup, it's just completely dead. And then Cease and Desist, I think, is the one that people most try to convince me in the comment section to put in instead. But I want to illustrate an example of why I don't think it's superior in. Oh yes, you're pulling it up. Such an excellent collab partner. So we can. Oh wait, I don't know where it went.
I don't
Huh?
have any.
Oh, you don't have any. There it is. Is it rare? I feel like it's uncommon.
No, it's uncommon.
Oh, that's interesting. So like I think the best way to illustrate why I don't think Cease and Desist is as good in this particular shell is that if we are on turn 3 on the draw, so we have like 3 lands, and our opponent is playing Omniscience, and they are about to potentially go turn 4 land of Willow's Awakening, then we are forced into a position where either we can do nothing for our entire turn and hold open Cease and Desist just in case they like mill the Omniscience and womp combo off on the next turn, or we could tap out on our own turn to try to develop our own board state. Let's say we have an Annex in hand and we really want to tap out to get our Annex going, but if we do, we might just auto lose the next turn. So that's a really painful position to put yourself in, because if you hold open mana and they do nothing, you just fall farther behind every single turn. But if you tap out to develop your own board state, then they could just auto win the next turn. So that's very painful.
Yeah.
I think Cease and Desist is best if you want to use it as your graveyard hate in a deck that is very draw go. Like if you're running Golgari, some weird like Golgari control deck, and you have Outrageous Robbery and some removal spells, and you could hold open different options and take advantage of it. But in our deck specifically, and a lot of the decks I run, like they can't really take advantage of full draw go strategies. I think our only flash card is Nowhere to Run, right, in our whole list.
Yep, and Sunbroke Huron.
Ah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, so technically we could run it if we thought we could hold open the Kieran. That actually makes it quite a bit better. But that is like the main reason I don't default to that. And Soul Guide Lantern, like I said, you can slam it on 1, which guarantees it gets under any counterspell, because Azorius Omniscience only runs 3-mana counterspells. So as long as you have your answer before turn 3, you're set up, and then it just sits there and you're good to go. So this is what I like running. This is my logic behind it. I think we want to add 3 copies of the Lantern to the deck because we're at 15% Omniscience, which is kind of ridiculous. And then in order to make space for it, let's go ahead and take out 1 Tiny Bones Joins Up, 1 Grim Bauble, and then we're going to cut 1 land to go from 25 to 24. I think a Sanctuary is fine to cut here. Cool. And then other than that, like the deck looks great. Last time I ran this, I did cut 1 copy of Sheldred for 1 copy of Beza. If you have, looks like you do have that card crafted. I don't know that one is inherently better than the other. They each have their advantages. Sheldred dies immediately to some single target removal, whereas Beza can like leave behind some fish tokens that could block. Immediately gains you 4 life, versus Sheldred might not gain you life till the next turn. So they each have their pros and cons. I will say the specific list that I ran last time here happens to currently be the highest win rate Orzhov mid-range deck, but it's a low sample size. So I think I was doing some things right, and I think we're going to run that as largely our shell for today.
Sounds good.
Cool. Do you have any other questions or thoughts about deck construction or other cards you might want to put in?
No, not really. I was curious, like, why you think this is better than having something like Preacher of the Schism to be more like mid-rangey.
When you say this, you're referring to the NX?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's actually a very good question. So I like the Annex because, so one, the enchantment half is very hard to interact with. So in sun matchups like Preacher of the, let's see, Schism is how you pronounce that, I think, it might just die immediately to like go for the throat or, you know, get lost or whatever. Whereas the Annex, well, get lost isn't a good example, but the Annex as an enchantment tends to survive. So against controlling matchups, it's very likely to sit there the entire game and draw you free cards. And in the controlling matchups, the -2 life isn't as painful because, you know, it essentially gives you 10 turns to figure a way out of it. So I don't mind just slamming it on 3 and losing 2 life every turn, even if I don't have a demon in hand. Whereas if you slam the Preacher on 3 against a control deck, or any deck with removal, it can just die immediately and you never get the draw value out of it. And then the second thing is that when you flip the Annex, it just auto wins some games. Like there are some mono red games where maybe you don't slam Annex on 3 unless you have the Archfiend or Sheldra or Beza in hand to slam on turn 4 to stabilize. But if you just drop a 6/6 on the board and they can't answer it, then they stop. And then you flip the Annex to start gaining life the next turn, and that's basically game over. So it pretty much auto wins the game on the spot because it's quite hard for some decks to get through a 6/6. Whereas a 2/4, you know, actually, you know, a double strike here, a monstrous rage there, like actually it is fairly reasonable for those red aggressive decks to get through the Preacher. But a 6/6 will shut down the board against a lot of people and can just auto win some games on the spot.
Definitely. I've definitely experienced that playing mono black mid-range. It is just wins so many games.
Yeah. So yeah, draw a free card every turn for the rest game. It's hard to beat that. I'm a big fan of the Annex for sure. Cool. Okay. Any other questions, or you want to dive into some gameplay?
I'm ready to play some games.
Let's do it. Let's hop into the ranked queue, and we'll see how this goes. I guess. I mean, either you can just play stuff out, or you can ask me for your opinion, or I can interject as we go. I imagine the first couple turns might be obvious, but I think I think more than me talking the entire time, which is what my usual videos are, I should let you talk and let you ask questions.
Sounds good. Playing against Triangle.
All right. The Initiate. He's a noob.
Okay. I think I would definitely take this hand. Double Hopeless Nightmare, and I have good enough lands.
I totally agree. Looks good to me. I think one interesting thing to keep in mind, it might not come up, is like if we can use Lockdown as an offensive tool to like take multiple nightmares off of our side of the board and then Pixie to get multiple nightmares back. Might not be relevant in this matchup because we just are doing mono red, but that is one interesting thing about this deck.
Yeah, we could plan. I haven't drawn another white source, which is kind of the thing here. We could hold up Nowhere to Run and just kill this, or go for the Hopeless Nightmare. A lot of times I just immediately kill the Heartfire hero. But I'm not sure like what is the best thing to do in this situation.
Okay, that is a fantastic question. So with some removal where they could escape it with like a Monstrous Rage, I would say sometimes it is best to do it on your own turn. In this case, even if they Monstrous Rage onto the hero, they'll get 1 Valiant trigger and then a +1 off the rage. So it'll have 3 toughness, but Nowhere to Run is still able to kill it. So I would say here we definitely want to hold open Nowhere to Run. And it depends how good your click game is. I try to pass really quickly right until the damage step to try to trick them into Monstrous Rage. I don't know if you're good at that particular skill. Okay, here, which one are you going to kill? The mouse or the hero?
I mean, the Manifold Mouse is going to continue being a big threat, but I'm not sure.
So
I would probably respond to this and just kill the Heartfire hero to not take the 4 damage.
Okay, I think we're kind of priced into that now, so let's go ahead and do that. I would have actually suggested before we let them move to the trigger step, before we let them move to combat, I would have gone ahead and killed the Manifold Mouse and just eliminate the double strike source. Yeah. But it looks like we hit the second white source anyway. So now, now what are you thinking here?
Well, now I definitely see how it would be better to be just facing like the 1/1 Heartfire hero. I could temporary lockdown here and potentially bounce and get some damage off of these things. They could have a Monstrous Rage and that could do some damage. So I probably would temporary lockdown here.
I think that makes the most sense too, because we already have Kieran next turn. So even if they go Screaming Nemesis, we can just Kieran, pick up the lockdown, which puts back the nowhere to run and like pick off a nemesis. So it sets us up well. Or this, another 3/3. Because otherwise, we don't really have a great answer to 3 drops.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Momentum Breaker. This gives us the opportunity of maybe just playing Momentum Breaker and Hopeless Nightmare and waiting on the temporary lockdown.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It also lets us start building up momentum, which could be relevant. I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
Or
that
speed.
has saved me in these matchups.
Mm-hmm. So far, we're doing decent against mono red. They haven't had like a crazy, nothing crazy has happened yet.
Yep.
And we're hoping to eventually get to 5 lands to hit the sniper. Okay.
See.
That is interesting. It is the 5th land, but it's a tap land, which is a little bit painful.
Yeah. I would probably put this in the graveyard, just because we have so many other like removal options and possibly an untapped land, which might be better to see next turn.
Yeah, I think I agree with you here. I think we can skip this one.
And see, if I let out the temporary lockdown, it's going to be giving them back Manifold Mouse, but it doesn't seem like they have Monstrous Rage right now. Could just bounce the Hopeless Nightmare and try to totally stop them. But I do kind of want to keep the Sun Tarkir for the temporary lockdown.
Can you hit next, move to combat, and see if there's any stick on their side? Looks like there is a little bit, right? So they probably have something here.
So
go ahead. I think I would pass to them and leave a couple options open.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and we can respond to something with letting this temporary lockdown go.
Okay, looks like they're gonna pump all their mana in, maybe via the Rockface Village. So we no longer have to worry about rage, so that's fine.
Yeah. So here I probably would bounce the temporary lockdown, so then next turn I can replay it.
Let's go ahead and
just
wait.
Take everything.
We don't need to do anything yet. We can just let him see what happens here first. Yeah, I mean, they let him do the
Let him hit me?
No, well, now we should Kieran and bounce the lockdown, and then nowhere to run the bigger of the two.
Okay.
And since we did it after they moved to combat, they don't get the Manifold Mouse trigger. Discard that last card in hand, and now we're set up to lockdown again.
Okay.
Probably no blocks.
No blocks, yeah. It's great to have some of the bounce effects underneath the temporary lockdowns as well.
Ooh, there's the 5th land too. That's such a great follow-up for next turn.
Yeah.
Do you want to attack first?
Oh, I should have attacked first.
That's okay.
Oops.
Yeah, might as well get the free damage in. But next turn we have a sweet 6/6, which hopefully completely blunts them. They hit land. That's great.
Yep.
All right, we're off to the races here.
This is definitely the position you want to be in.
Yep. So if we had Preacher here, for example, we'd have a 3-mana 2/4 Death Touch. Very solid. Like, it looks totally fine here, but I don't know. Now we're just gaining 2 life every turn, and that's pretty much it. I think you are fine to attack. If we were lower on life, I might suggest holding back. I probably actually would have played the Hopeless Nightmare out as well, because from here on out, they're going to play every single card they have in hand.
So that makes sense. Yeah, they got
probably,
enough lands. They're probably not going to keep it.
Yeah. And then the upside is also, if we spend 1 mana this turn, we're that much closer to a 3-mana Scry later to sack it and get a little extra value off of it.
Of course.
Cool. That was awesome.
Victory first game.
Yeah. Before we top into the next, I'll try to remember, let's just call out a couple learning moments. I feel like one of them was we let the Manifold Mouse move to combat. And I think in that moment, before they moved to combat, we should have nowhere to run the Manifold Mouse to kill it. Because they ended up getting the trigger on the Heartfire Hero, and we ended up killing that because we kind of already progressed that state, but I think it would have been better to kill the Double Strike Source.
Definitely.
Yeah. Overall, I think we did great. Let's go on to the next one. I think there may be a couple other mistakes we talked about in the moment, but I don't have a perfect memory of everything that happened.
I forgot to attack that 2 damage, but ended up not mattering because we just have a 6/6.
Yeah, super small, super small.
Okay. This is definitely a mulligan for me.
Well, okay, yeah, the Pixie is kind of useless on one. Annex is fantastic. Archfiend is a
If
fantastic
we
follow-up
happen
to
to
the Annex.
draw a removal or Hopeless
Yeah,
Nightmare or something, it would be
yeah.
great.
I think if it's mono red, we automatically lose, basically. I think I'm down to mulligan this. I think I'm okay with that choice.
Yeah.
All right, Lockdown is great.
Yeah.
We have answers
Decent.
to everything. We have Lantern versus Omniscience and Lockdown to mono red, so we can't complain too much about that.
Yeah. I would probably drop one Lockdown.
Yep, I totally agree with that. I think the other cards are more valuable, and hopefully we don't need multiple lockdowns.
And I'm thinking probably play the tap land on turn 1 just to make sure I have the 3 mana for a lockdown.
Yep.
Mono black.
Yep. Okay. Well, we don't really have anything amazing for them to take, so it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we also don't have anything amazing in hand to like beat mono black, so hopefully we draw something good soon.
Definitely. This is one of the things I like about best of 3. You know, you can kind of get around this unlucky games of not having anything and still come back and do something.
Having a lovely little flood here.
Yeah. I had 2 dress and didn't really get rid of anything too scary for them.
That sucks, but we'll just live with it.
Not fun.
Yeah. Oof.
Awesome. Another temporary lockdown.
Yeah.
At least we can get rid of their demon.
That's true. Yes, we can kill the 6/6 the next turn.
Yeah, but not this. They might just bring the Soulstone Sanctuary, but I could have a nowhere to run.
Yeah. We are for sure on the back foot, but we'll see what happens here. Maybe they won't have any demons. Maybe they'll just drain themselves to death. Anything could happen. Yeah. Looks like they're eyeing the Sanctuary. I think they might level up the Sanctuary this turn. Just second Annex. Okay, this is interesting. We could try to pressure them with the Kieran. The problem is...
Cut down.
Then we're going to lock down anyway. Yeah, I think doing nothing is fine here. Because we think we want to lock down the 6/6 that's coming next turn anyway. So if we play the Kieran just to put on pressure, we're going to sweep it up next turn, I think, anyway. Another land. This is awesome. Okay. No. Lovely game of Magic. And then they...
Now all we can hope for is they misclick. How is that? I don't know how that would happen, but it's possible.
They click the exit button and DC themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that is too bad because we can't even sweep that up.
Yeah. Painful.
Wow. How many lands in that is a row?
Not much we can do here.
Yeah, nothing to be done. Just sit here like an idiot and just get wrecked by the mana flood.
Yep. It happens.
I hope you're learning a lot from this coaching session. This game is really very informative.
Yep. Learning I should go back to playing mono black.
Yeah. You should just have better opening. You should just have better opening hands. That's the learning lesson here. You got to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing this game. I should have just started the game with a better hand.
I agree. All right. I think if we don't see anything good here, we'll probably just scoop and get out of here.
Yeah, Shieldred plus 2 Annex.
See if we can get one more land. Nice! All right. Perfect.
We win. Okay.
Crushing it. Yeah, all right. Let's get out of here.
I'm leaving.
All right. Next one. Brutal. What was our opening? Our opening hand was 4 lands and a Pixie and an NX and a Demon. Coincidentally, it would have been better. I still think it was the right decision to mulligan. It just did nothing for like the first 3 turns, and I think a lot of people would have run us over.
Yeah.
But there's no way to know.
That's definitely one thing I experienced using this deck is a little unsure about the mulligans. Sometimes you just get a hand with a bunch of the bouncers. Sometimes you get a hand like this, which looks amazing for me.
Yeah, looks great. It's got answers to everything we could hope for.
Oh, maybe it's against Is It?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll draw into Lockdown. Yeah. Is it? It is it? Tirsa. Okay, a little
Interesting.
new age, is it? Ah, okay, actually,
FOMO.
something different here.
Is it Jeskai Oculus and Best of One?
For sure, could be. We haven't seen a white source just yet. What do you think about Nowhere to Run versus Momentum Breaker here?
They could be playing a Tirsa, like they could have another one, that's why they dropped it. And I may want to know where to run that, but FOMO is super powerful. I've got like enough removal.
Yeah. I'm thinking
maybe Momentum Breaker is good.
I think we run it out here. They're close. I don't think there's a huge decision. They also can run Spell Pierce, so that is another consideration.
Yes, definitely. I've faced that.
But let's see if we see any white source. It could be, is it? I don't know. Nope, there's a white source. Okay. Yeah. So they are definitely Jeskai Oculus. All right, comes back.
Okay. So I hope that I just draw a bunch of bouncers and removal, because that's the way to deal with this deck. Oh, they got some more draw. A little painful. I would probably just wait and hold up Nowhere to Run here.
I think that's fine with me, especially because we can't get through Spell Pierce either way, and they have blue open. I don't know if people really main deck Spell Pierce in Best of One, but people also like to net deck decks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish I had counter spells. Frost is so good for them.
It's very strong.
I'm probably thinking Nowhere to Run, the Steam Core Scholar.
Yeah, for sure.
Once they target it.
Yeah.
And they don't have any blue open, so.
Yep.
Nothing to fear.
Yep. Okay, cool. That's a card.
Probably just go ahead and play this. And we got them two health down, so 3 hits with the Archfiend will win.
Yeah, they also don't have much removal for 6/6s, right? Like they'll have Torch the Tower. They could double Torch it if they could sack something. They could drag whatever that new
Dragon Hunt.
Exactly, that's 3 damage, right? So this could be an issue for them. We could have significant pressure that they can't really deal with. They could have some. Well, that's interesting. Guardian of New Benalia. They might be what's that artifact?
Monument.
Yeah, they could be a monument deck. I think that's probably a big payoff for running the Benalia. All right, more land, but we'll survive.
So I probably attack and Momentum Breaker here.
Cool.
And I potentially could crack this Hopeless Nightmare. Definitely, Hopeless Nightmare is not the best against the decks with Helping Hand.
Yeah, it's one of our.
Get their Horn Oculus out.
For sure. We can do it on their end step, but it's one of our worst matchups is going to be against any deck that can take advantage of discard.
Definitely.
We're doing okay, though. They were down to 10. We have a lot of land again, even though we're only running 24 land. We're just blessed by that. But the Scry 2 is going to be big. We could have a really serious follow-up here. And I really don't think they can kill the 6/6 easily. I don't think they could run like a random Get Lost or like a random Valorous Stance or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
Eco in. I'm guessing. Okay. FOMO. Don't know why they're going for the FOMO. I feel like I would pick Tirsa. Maybe they have good stuff in their hand.
Helix. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Let's make sure to crack our Nightmare before we end our turn, yeah? All right, pray to the land gods. I don't think either of these. Well, let's see. So wait, so let's just real quick damage check. If we attack, if they don't block, drops us to 4. If they do block, I think they won't block. I think they'll drop to 4. And Hopeless Nightmare won't kill them. I still think it's probably not impactful enough. I think we need to do better. It's not awful. We also have to win pretty soon. Nice. What do you think we should do here?
I would probably attack first and see if they want to block, and then pick up the Momentum Breaker or Nowhere to Run.
Yep, I totally agree. We also have an issue if we can't win in 2 turns. Archfiend will just kill us. So I don't know if we're going to have a way to deal with that, but that is... They take it all. Okay. I think we still do the same plan. Try to drop into 2 off the Archfiend trigger by momentum breaking one of them.
Yep. And we are getting a another creature out.
Mm-hmm. And now we have lethal presented because the Kieran or the Archfiend can get in. So we will see if they have a Lightning Helix. Otherwise, it's close. It's a close game.
And I certainly don't have to worry about blocking. Got 2 momentum breakers if I need it.
Mm-hmm.
See. Okay. So I won't be losing next turn.
Mm-hmm. They're thinking here. Oh no! That's unfortunate. Okay. Nothing can be done about that.
It's painful.
That is probably the best
they
card.
Take the Archfiend.
It does give us more time, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. If we can pick up Momentum Breaker and put it back down, we get back all the things.
Yeah.
All right, game goes on.
Definitely not gonna attack.
Mm-hmm.
If we get a Pixie here,
I know. It's huge. Cross your fingers. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's fine.
Like Tursa. They have so much draw.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting deck.
Lantern also would have been great in this matchup. We could have,
oh yeah,
annoyed them quite a bit by taking out the graveyard. All right, not it.
Not what we want to see.
Nope.
A land.
All right, good game.
Painful.
They got us. They made their comeback.
Yeah, very interesting deck with Chico.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest decks that I'd like to play more of. I really like Jeskai as a combination in general.
I have absolutely been loving Jeskai Control in Best of 3. It's such a fun deck.
Oh, do you have
counters? You got removal.
Do you have it crafted? I thought maybe you hadn't had that one crafted yet.
I do have it crafted. I just
cool.
crafted it.
Very cool. Yeah,
I definitely suggest playing it.
Yeah, I want to play more of it. The problem is I play a different deck or color every day for the most part, so I don't get to like hone in on one I really like. But I think Jeskai is very cool. Yeah. Do you like the 3-mana saga that's like, look at the top 3, put one in your hand, run that back, and then everything gets double strike? How good is that really?
I don't know if it's won me games, like been the difference between winning and losing, but I've definitely used it to win games. I only run 1 and 4 stock ups just because I think stock up is way too crazy. Ooh, okay. No, I have 5 mana.
Yeah. We have a really
Admirer.
Do you know what deck they are? I guess. Have you seen this one before?
It's gonna be the Selesnya Auras deck.
Yeah, so Momentum Breaker is awesome because they suit this thing to the sky. Hopefully they don't play more creatures. Hopefully we just get one big guy. Even if they do, we have the Kieran, so I think we're really well set up to win this game.
My first deck that I made on Arena was the Azorius Auras deck.
Okay.
Probably just do this now. I know sometimes they take hands with 1 or 2 creatures.
Oh yeah, for sure. And since we have the backup Kieran, good game.
Good game. Well,
I guess that's it.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh, let's see what emoji you got. Aw, okay, that's nice. Oh, they got another creature. All right, they're not giving up yet. Maybe they just know the archetype we're playing, so they smell defeat. Oh, that's nasty for them too.
Probably just do this instantly. Don't want them to get anything. Target player, so Shard Mage's Rescue isn't gonna do anything.
And now we just get to sit here and plus the rest of the game.
Yep.
He's being a good sport though. He's giving us the nice.
Yep.
Another creature. All right, he's not giving up yet. Oh, that's a card.
No, okay.
Your go. Oh, he's getting spicy with it. All right.
Draw land now.
That's not bad. I mean, that takes their last 2 cards, right?
True. And probably can do without one of the Sunpro Kirins.
I
I might
agree.
not play Beza though.
Yeah, I think one Kieran is fine to go. Two is so much to get double breakers back.
And I'm going to keep my Sunpro Kirin open,
Mm-hmm.
potentially can crack this, but if they attack with both, I could Kirin
Mm-hmm.
get one of these back and then block the Optimistic Scavenger. Okay. See what they're going to take. I might be able to save it with Kirin. Is it worth saving the Liliana?
Or we could take the Momentum Breaker. I mean, either
True.
way, it's similar, but we'll have more mana if we take the Momentum Breaker instead. Like, we could crack the Lantern too.
If they attack with both, I flash in, oh yeah, get Momentum Breaker, block with Optimistic Scavenger.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
They have nothing.
Awesome.
Get some lifelink though.
And they're done.
They're gone.
Nice.
Awesome.
That was a very satisfying. I mean, that's probably like the perfect matchup for us, right? Auras versus Sacrifice.
Definitely. Absolutely.
No Omniscience yet though. 15%, but not in our 15%.
Good.
It is too bad we didn't draw it during
Happy with
the Jeskai deck. That would have made it a lot more interesting if we could threaten that the whole game.
That would have been very useful.
Do you know what the ambitious title is for? How do you earn that one?
Oh, I can't remember. Is it playing a certain amount of games? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I really want to get the Magus of the Arena, but you have to hit Mythic and Limited and Constructed at the same time. And I have not put in the work to do that yet.
Definitely. That seems pretty hard.
It's mono red, but we're looking good, right?
We have got everything. Here I'd probably just wait with Nora to run.
Well, let's see. If they had like double burst lightning, they would actually escape it, right?
True.
I think I'm down to probably momentum break here. That would stink if they, it's not. They could if they have rage and like lightning.
Yeah. And I've faced some Gruul aggro with Snakeskin Veil before, which a little weird, but
well, we can get around that with the nowhere to run anti-hexproof thing.
Oh, of course. I'm thinking probably just pick up the Momentum Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same kind of dilemma. I could play it now.
I think
if they want to do a...
Yeah, technically we should wait with nowhere to run. I mean, they if they're smart, they know we have it because there's no reason not to play the breaker. But we could nab we could nab a Manifold Mouse, for example. And if they attack into us, we can block with a Pixie, and then we force them into a rage, and then we know where to run. So they have some issues ahead of them.
Yeah.
All right, so we take the block here and force them to respond. Maybe they have multiple pump spells. Maybe they're like the Fling deck, but either way, we're going to be okay long term, I think.
Felonious Rage. I've faced some things like this.
We can, let's see, if that resolves... So. I think we want to kill it now, right? Because they get a 2/2 otherwise, so we'll give that a go. They could have another Felonious Rage or another kind of similar effect. We'll see what happens here. Should die, though. I'll be surprised if they can get up to 4 toughness.
Yep.
They scoop.
Okay.
So I will just comment.
Interesting.
If it didn't have a death effect, I would let everything resolve first and see if they put another instant on the stack before finishing off with nowhere to run. But in this case, since they were going to get value out of the death trigger, it made sense to do it now. Cool. I feel like
we got one little bit.
That's something. I feel like hopefully this was useful. We had some games that I think were great games and maybe some good teaching moments, and then some of them we just flooded out and just totally unlucky. Nothing to do with any ability. We never got to see the Lantern pop off versus Omniscience, and it didn't end up super shining versus the random Jeskai matchups either. It was never terrible. Like when it wasn't useful, we just cycled it into the next card. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Any other I don't know, you have any thoughts or questions? We don't have to end right now. We can chat a little bit longer. I don't know.
Well, I suggest for you to try Best of 3 at some point. I really enjoy it, and I find it to be more fun than best of one because you kind of have some chance against the terrible matchups.
Hmm.
So maybe sometime we could do a battle against each other with best of 3. See how we do.
Sure, I think that could be very fun.
Yeah, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And I definitely learned and I had fun playing, and this is awesome.
You're very welcome. I feel like we need 9 more hours of this. Like
9 more hours.
like
Okay. Well,
no, I don't think that's
let me clear my
realistic.
schedule.
But yeah, it's tough because not every game is a teaching moment. So if we just had more time, I think we get more opportunities to teach. Because sometimes, basically, it seemed like every Jeskai matchup was like, all right, well, we flooded out and we're just kind of doing what we're doing. There were more, interestingly enough, the mono red matchups I feel like had more interesting decision moments and like timing things correctly.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, a little bit. Are you heading to vacation, by the way? I feel like you're disappearing for a week or two or something, right? Anything fun going on?
Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna be moving soon to Oregon. I'm
Okay.
pretty much literally tomorrow is my final. I'm gonna be graduating high school, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna be going to college across the country. So we're gonna be looking at some houses.
Okay. Amazing. Are you excited for that? College, I think, is probably some of the best 4 years of my life. So I hope you're excited for that.
Yes, I'm so excited to move out of a small town in Texas, go to Oregon, and I've been there to some magic places, and oh, it's just amazing. Just huge places filled with magic players. It's really fun.
I was gonna say, I feel like Oregon would have a good magic community. I picture Oregon not like hippie, but like, I don't know. In my mind, they're like more casual,
It's
and I could see them
it's
playing magic.
definitely hippie. I think you're right with that.
How are you gonna
That's
feel
why I'm
about?
going there.
So Texas is hot and is Texas humid in the summer? It is, right? Hot and humid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Oregon is just rainy, right?
Yeah, it's rainy, but the summer is beautiful. It's just like amazing temperature, and the nature there is perfect. And it's just green just all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's very exciting. All right. Well, have a lovely next 2 weeks of sorting all that out, and thank you so much for doing the collab.
Thank you so much for coaching me. Really enjoyed it.
You're very welcome. I'll give a quick shout out to the audience who's watching this now. If you, the audience, not tell us, want to do a video like this, either me coaching you or you playing against me, you can join the Hall of Heroes membership tier, which is, I think, how we're going to sort out people who do that from now on. Yeah, like and subscribe. Give a big thank you to Talos. He's my first ever person doing a collab with at all, really. I guess I've had a couple others, but first subscriber for sure. And I think he did a really fantastic job. You're a very pleasant person to work with, which is like, I think, the best candidate. your tolerability rating 11 out of 10, extremely tolerable, better than tolerable.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Mm-hmm.